next on All Access.
I'm Dan Roach. There's change in the air here in Foxborough.
He was a great leader, a fantastic person, and a coach. So we're all sad to see him go.
I'm Scott Zolak, and in a year where there wasn't a lot of highlights, we'll take a look at one of the bright spots. That's Drake Maye.
Ball, laser, there's the arm strength.
Good one right there.
I'm Paul Perillo, and we'll talk about the leading candidates to be the Patriots' next head coach.
And I'm Steve Burton. Those stories plus a well-deserved recognition for the Patriots' longest tenured employee.
50 years has been unbelievable.
All Access begins right now. While the 2024 regular season has ended, 2025 is off and running. Hello and welcome to Patriots All Access presented by GEICO. I'm Steve Burton. The Patriots beat the Buffalo Bills in the season finale, spoiling the hopes of some fans for the number 1 pick in the draft. With the win, they would now draft number 4 overall. But the big news came in the immediate aftermath of the game, when the Patriots fired head coach Jerod Mayo after just 1 season. Dan Roach reports on a busy week in Foxborough.
They walked off the field with their 4th win Sunday, but a brief post-game celebration turned to NFL business reality as their head coach was let go. The next day, the owner addressed the dismissal.
This whole situation is on me. I feel terrible for Jerod because I put him in an untenable situation.
Mayo went 4-13 as the successor to Bill Belichick, a season that included a pair of 6-game losing streaks and a rough December, with blowout losses at Arizona and here against the Chargers.
Robert, just when was the decision made?
Over the last month, I went back and forth. And I don't know, in my life and my business, I make certain decisions. I know when it's right, and it just happened.
As for the players, the news hit hard.
He was a great leader, a fantastic person, and a coach. So we're all sad to see him go.
Of course, you're gonna feel for a guy like this. I mean, it's tough when something like this happens. But I'm not in control. Nobody in this locker room is in control. It's tough.
Less than 48 hours after the players departed, the interview process was underway, the owner moving fast on finding the next head coach.
I mean, you need someone who players can relate to and respond to. They need to have a team around them that has product knowledge, in-game adjustments, knowing what their system is, just a lot of things coming together.
What's obvious from the events of the past week is that this organization is not happy with consecutive 4 and 13 seasons, and they are intent on correcting the course of this franchise. For Patriots All Access, I'm Dan Roach.
All right, Dan Roach, thank you very much. Well, welcome to our Bob's Discount Furniture Studios, everyone, with Mike Reese and Paul Perillo. Boy, a lot has happened. Are you surprised at the turn of events?
So I thought it was sort of trending in that direction, but yes, I was surprised with the finality of it all. Certainly, after the game is over, you're not necessarily expecting that kind of a swift action, but the last month, Steve, since the bye, the Arizona game, starting with that game, you started to say to yourself, this could be a one-and-done kind of situation, and it really didn't get any better the rest of the way, Mike.
And if you rewind to our conversation on the set last week, we talked about whenever you have a season like this, there's going to be some level of change, and the worse it gets, the more significant the change becomes. And so I'm not surprised in that respect, Steve, but I would say the timing surprised me. Finishing up right after a game, less than an hour after the final interviews, to have that happen, that did catch me a little bit off guard.
How do you think Robert Kraft handled delivering the message to the media and how it all went down? I thought he was very sincere. I thought the way he did it, he owned it. but I just want to get your opinions.
Yeah, the word that came to mind for me was accountability. I feel like this was his guy. This was his baby. It was his idea as far back as 5 years before hiring Jerod Mayo. It didn't go well. He identified it right up front in his opening statement, Mike, and he said, "This is on me. I put him in an untenable situation." I think that's as accountable as you can be.
Yeah, I thought the first moment he stepped on the podium and sort of, hit his chest and said, "This whole situation is on me." 6 words, very strong. And when I reported on it, I will just give you the league view. Fans from Cleveland, fans from Chicago said, "Oh, that's what an accountable owner looks like. We'd love that if we had that here."
All right, guys, don't go far, because we got to talk about the future of this franchise. We'll be back with more Patriots All Access right after this.
Coming up on All Access, we take a deep dive into the play of quarterback Drake Maye this season.
What I love about this play, he recognizes they're out of position. He knows he's got KB on this deep slant and hits the back foot, no hitch, drills it to KB for a touchdown.
And later, congratulate the organization's longest tenured employee.
So thank you all for sharing this moment with me, because 50 years has been unbelievable.
You're watching Patriots All Access.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Bank of America, official bank of the New England Patriots. And by Cross Insurance, official insurance broker of the New England Patriots.
Welcome back to Patriots All Access. Time now for our last player spotlight of the 2024-25 season. Throw 25 in there. Brian Hoyer joins me again to talk about Drake Maye. Now, great season. Not great season, but a really good season for the young quarterback, the development. And we've been in here in and out certain weeks to where we look at some of the good, some of the bad. We're going to do the same here in our last wrap-up. So we're going to start with Drake's first touchdown as a Patriot.
I mean, you got to start with this one. His first touchdown pass, it showcases not only the arm strength, but the accuracy, the touch to throw the deep ball. Did a good job of keeping the safety over here on this left hash, keep him out of there. And what I loved, and we talked about it early, was Booty gets there, he stacks him, and Drake actually brings him back on top of the ball. Great pass. Everybody got excited at that point. It wasn't going great, got things going, kept them in the game.
All right.
Yeah.
I love this one because this tells me I got this thing read perfectly, but I got to process it, and more importantly, I got to stick it and stick it fast.
Yeah, and like me, in the red zone, everything happens faster. So you got to be on time, you got to have the arm strength, and throwing these slants, especially with people here in the middle, what I love about this play, he recognizes they're out of position. Both of these defenders slide out to the flat. He knows he's got KB on this deep slant, and you know you got to fire this thing in here. Showcases the rhythm, hits the back foot, no hitch.
Now,
boom, ball, drills it to KB for a touchdown.
It's good to see where KB finally started to get a little bit of a rapport with him there.
Right.
One more look at it here.
You'll just
those windows are small.
You'll see the timing, and you'll see he recognizes, I'm sure one of these guys is wrong. It's probably this linebacker probably supposed to drop in this hook zone, but they both go to the flat. He feels the zone, and you'll see the timing. 1, 2, 3, boom. Ball, laser, there's the arm strength.
Good one right there.
Yep.
All right, then we had a little trip down to Miami here, and this is part of the bad.
Yep. So right here, and this is one thing I think he can really improve on in the offseason, is just that pocket awareness. Sometimes he gets there, and look, he's an athletic guy. You don't want to take that away from him. But some of these athletic guys, they want to go out the back of the pocket, and we'll see here, this can get you into trouble. You keep backing up. Oh, here comes a free guy. Back up further. Now I'm trying to make a play, loft it up, and you're getting picked off by a D lineman.
See, that's the type of play where I thought he got better as the year went on. And we've talked about this, outside the tackle, tackle. As the season got older, he got up inside, kept the play alive, and went left to right.
This was the one game, and he even admitted it after the game, I got to help some of these linemen out. I can't be getting deep. I can't be trying to go out of the back of the pocket.
Tackle. Yeah.
Right, and so here, not only do you have a free blitzer and Ramsey coming off, but you try to out-athlete a really good athlete, it's going to be tough, and it turns into a bad play. So don't make a bad play worse.
Right.
Figure out how to step up in the pocket, take care of the football.
Bad things happen when you go out and you're sort of sporadic, right?
That's right.
And, hey, this is the best play of the year, man. 13-second play, I think, in totality.
Yeah, and when you needed it the most, right? Clutch to go into overtime. He recognizes, we call it P-rush for patience. He recognizes only a 3-man rush. This guy's dropping. I got to give him time. And I remember him mentioning, like, could I have thrown it to Hunter out of the break? Yeah, but I didn't feel comfortable with it. Now, we talked about this too. Smart play by Hunter Henry. He's out of bounds. Says, don't throw it to me. But here's Drake just extending the play, knowing, hey, we got to get it in no matter what it takes. So he's running around, jukes that guy, jukes his own guy, comes back, finds Mondre with the last second ball. I mean, this is a guy that when he shows you something like this, you know what you got coming forward in the future.
All right, great stuff, Brian Hoare. Appreciate all your breakdowns all year. Look forward to next year. More Patriots All Access. We'll come back right after this.
Welcome back to All Access presented by GEICO. Nice things happen to good people, and few match that description better than the Patriots Director of Scouting Administration, Nancy Meyer. Nancy Meyer is the Patriots' longest tenured employee who just finished her 50th season with the team. That achievement was recognized last week before the season finale.
Everyone had a different situation when they got here, drafted, signed, tryout. Nancy was the first person that you all came in contact with, that contacted your agent, contacted you about flights. She's a tremendous ambassador for everybody here. She's a great resource. She does a lot for us. She does a lot for the coaching staff, the personnel department, and all of you guys. So Nancy, if you would come down, we got a little
So thank you all for sharing this moment with me, because 50 years has been unbelievable. It's hard for any of you to imagine doing anything for 50 years. And I'm often surprised that it added up to be that many years. But for all of us to be here today, it takes a lot. And you should all be proud to be ambassadors of the Patriots. I always have been. Treasure that you are and represent. And thank you for everything. Thanks for all being my buddies and the hugs and everything that I'm lucky to have. So, thank you. When I came here at 19 years old, I don't think in general you thought of anything as a career path. And it just developed because I had this wonderful, wonderful life of working with such good people that cared about me, I cared about them. But to be able to keep this environment, everybody support each other the way we have to on a day-to-day basis, and you can have star players and players who are in our own Hall of Fame come in these doors every day and leave their ego outside. That's why we can be the way we are. Because we all really, it's such a broad term, but we come in here and we're all very equal.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Bank of America, official bank of the New England Patriots. By Cross Insurance, official insurance broker of the New England Patriots. And by Toyota's official website for deals, viatoyota.com.
Patriots inside the 20. Is under pressure and blocked by Schooler.
Congratulations to Patriots special teamer Brendan Schooler, who was selected to the NFL All-Pro team. Christian Gonzalez was named second team All-Pro.
Welcome back to our Bob's Discount Furniture Studios, everyone. Back with Mike Reese and Paul Perillo again. Good to see you guys because a lot has taken place. Now, the Patriots haven't conducted a search, a coaching search, since 1997. You have to go all the way back to the Bill Parcells days. How important is it to conduct a thorough search this time around?
It is strange because it really hasn't been. It's been Bill Belichick and, obviously the situation with Jerod Mayo last year. So this is sort of uncharted territory for them. I think it's important to go out and get some information, Steve. So I do think, conducting some interviews, getting some different points of view, I think is important. Find out what some of the other organizations are doing and some of the things. There's been some stories behind the scenes, Mike, that maybe the Patriots are lagging a little bit behind with the modern game. So if nothing else, it's a fact-finding mission. I think it's important to interview a bunch of guys.
I agree, and also showcase yourself, right? What do we hear from prospective head coaches that's the most important to them? Committed ownership, right? That would be one of the main things.
Yeah.
Hey, that's committed ownership here, but no one really knows it because you haven't talked to the candidates that have been out there, because you haven't done it since 1997. So you get out there and you interview Ben Johnson, Lions offensive coordinator, and he sees like that's what's going on up there. Word gets around when you do something like that. So that's why I think another reason it's important to be thorough.
And real quick, Steve, I think it's important. You might interview somebody who ultimately doesn't get your head coaching job, or maybe you're not necessarily thinking in those terms, but all of a sudden you find out a connection between that guy and someone else who might make sense for you, maybe in another role, an offensive coordinator or some other capacity. You never know until you start to learn and meet these people.
And think about if they did that last year, how much further ahead they would be this year, because they would have a foundation on which to build on. And I think that's the point you're making.
Yep.
You mentioned Ben Johnson, but is he the leading candidate? Because I keep hearing the name Vrabel.
I think he is a leading candidate, but I think you'd be naive if you didn't think the connections with Mike Vrabel and his history in the organization, Mike. I think he would have to be the leader in the clubhouse.
And I can see why, because I do think he would be a very good hire for them, Paul. For what where the organization is right now, and the history with him, I think matters. I go back to that Patriots Hall of Fame ceremony. They always do such a great job. What he said about this organization, like to have someone that would come in, if it is him, like to me that would mean a lot.
And the experience, they just came off a first-time head coach. You got a guy who's already been a coach, had some success, had a deep playoff run to the AFC title game. I think he checks a lot of boxes.
Build a culture.
Robert Kraft said that he and along with his son Jonathan would be conducting the search, but he also included Elliott Wolf. Where does Elliott Wolf's future stand?
I think that largely depends on who the next coach is, and I think Robert Kraft said that as well. He'll have some latitude to have some input on who these guys are, the decision makers. My guess is whoever the next head coach is, if he likes Elliott Wolf and is happy with him in that role, he'll stay right in that role. More likely, Mike, I think he probably has his own guy in mind. I still think Elliott Wolf and Alonzo Highsmith was the other person that will be included in those interviews. I think they'll have roles here, maybe just not the same roles that they had.
And we know Robert Kraft thinks very highly of Elliott Wolf. And I think an example I would use is back when they hired Bill Belichick in the year 2000. Bobby Greer was here as the vice president of player personnel. He stayed on through the first draft with Bill Belichick because he had done all the draft work. His staff had done all the draft work that year with Bucko Kilroy. And so you're going to keep the group intact, at least through the draft. And then to your point, Paul, whoever the head coach is, they're going to have a big say, as Robert Kraft said, in who picks the players.
Guys, it's been fun working with you all year long.
No doubt, Steve. Right back at you.
Appreciate you both.
Now, I don't know if you know this.
Go ahead.
Check back the most recent predictions we made for the last game of the year.
Oh, you picked them to win, didn't you?
Oh, he didn't just pick them to win, Steve.
You picked the score?
23-16 Patriots.
Is this where I do my Steve Burton, Paul?
Go ahead, man. Yeah, great pick, Mike. I wish you were wrong.
Mike.
I wish you were dead wrong, but great pick.
Great job. We weren't supposed to win that game. That's all right.
Exactly. Hey, guys, great working with you. That will do it for this week's edition of Patriots All Access. For Mike Reese and Paul Perloff, I'm Steve Burton. Have a great week, everybody.